Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to the April 2022 YouTube channel update. This is a series where we take a look at the numbers over the previous month. We also talk a little bit about what's gone on in the channel, what's coming up on the channel, and in this episode, we're going to ask the question and answer the question, how did we do on our 3 channel goals that we set in March? Lastly, we have to talk about the question of why has there been no video published for the past week? Why has there been no video published for the past week? So let's jump in and get started. We're going to take a look at the numbers. Brace yourselves a little bit, perhaps. So in the previous update, we had 39,000 views over the previous month. On this update, 38,000. Going the wrong way a little bit. We'll talk more about that. Hours watched. Previous update was 4,600, which was a gain. This one, 4,100, another drop. We're going the wrong way, but let's not panic yet. Subscribers, about the same. At the previous update, we had 2,392 subscribers. As I create this on Saturday morning, we have 2,718 subscribers. So a gain of roughly 300. Welcome to everybody new on the channel. It's awesome to have more people along for the journey. Now, let's talk a little bit about why this might be the case, why the numbers are down. Here's the biggest one, production. So in the previous month, we had 23 videos produced and published on the channel the previous 2 months. This last month, only 18. And there's a few reasons why. We'll talk a little bit about those. But that, I think, lies in, if we're looking at answering the question, why have the numbers gone down over the past month? I think that's the biggest answer, that if the videos produced drops, the channel growth just kind of slows a little bit. So a good percentage of the channel is the trucking simulation content. And there really hasn't been anything new in Euro Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Simulator for quite a while now. And so I think just the general interest in that game over the past couple months has kind of waned. And with it has been the viewing of the videos on the channel for that content, which gets into the idea of why I don't want this channel really to be kind of a one-dimensional experience and why it's really important that we have a variety of content. It's about having fun with games that make you think and games that help you to relax. So really, if we become too centered on one particular game, that's always risky, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go forward. Another reason I think also with the weather getting nicer in spring, that perhaps people are going outside more, and maybe YouTube numbers in general go down a little bit as you get into April and May, and probably kind of even out as we get into the summer, perhaps? I'm not sure there, but that would be another possibility. The other thing is, I think the Wargame production has slowed a bit and become a little bit one-dimensional. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I think that also is impacting the numbers. And I have what I think is some exciting ideas about that, because I've been thinking about this for the past couple of weeks now, and I think I have a plan going forward for something that's going to be pretty cool. So I'll talk more about that as we go forward with that. Let's talk a little bit about why the numbers of videos produced have been down. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it ties into what's gone on over the channel with the channel over the past month. So let's get started on that. There's been, right now what we've got going on is American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. There's been 3 American Truck Simulator videos produced and 2 Euro Truck Simulator 2 videos produced. And the numbers on those are good, and I'm really liking making them. But I'm also thinking that it's become kind of a pattern to them. And I really want to freshen up that pattern with some new episodes, go back to some more trivia episodes, go back to some other kind of special episodes that look at different aspects of those games. So I really want to kind of reinvest in rethinking and creating some different types of episodes within the context of these are careers with those 2 games. Because I think the career element of those 2 series is what makes them kind of interesting and brings people in and kind of makes them enjoyable to watch. And I always kind of look at them as kind of podcasts where we're talking about little ideas and concepts and kind of experiences within the game over the course of about a 20-minute ride. So I don't want that to change, but within that structure, I think there's more we can do to bring them a little bit more life and energy, in particular the Euro Truck Simulator 2 ones that have been a little bit flat because there just really hasn't been anything new going on with the game. Wargaming videos, 7 videos produced in the last month, 4 videos by Stealth and Sea, which is our replay of the 2020 game from DVG Games, and then 3 other videos, 1 play session video, which was good. I want to talk a little bit about Submarine Mondays. Submarine Mondays was a great idea, I think, in terms of having consistent submarine content that comes out on Monday. But from a production standpoint, it's been really hard to hold the table space and then to shift between games. So usually what happens on Sunday, I produce the video for Monday, I edit it and get it out on Monday. And then I think, okay, I want to shoot a different game. And I try to get something going on the other table. And my brain shifts into that by Thursday or Friday, but I'm making other videos and doing other stuff. And it's really hard to shift from creating videos on one game to creating videos on another game and to bounce back and forth on that. I'm finding it hard for my brain just to stay kind of into the game. It's hard to shift gears, basically. So I'm not going to do Submarine Mondays anymore. I know. I'm sorry for people that like it, but I've realized it's too hard to bounce back and forth, and it's going to be better for me to focus on one game and make the whole series and then switch to another game. I still want to do videos on submarines and kind of the submarine wargaming content because it's a lot of fun. So there's still going to be a number of series like that. But for the time being, I want to finish up the By Stealth and Sea and then shift into a new series and then shift into a new series and kind of bounce back and forth so we get a little bit more broader representation of tabletop wargaming than just the submarine videos that's been over the past couple months. I started a new series, Snowrunner, with the idea that kind of general interest in the Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator games has kind of evened off, that it's time to kind of start something new in there. And I'm really enjoying playing the Snowrunner game. It's a ton of fun. I'm not very good at it yet, but it is enjoyable. And I think it fits within that genre of enjoyable, kind of relaxing simulations, although this one is definitely a little bit more stressful at times than Euro Truck Simulator or an American Truck Simulator, but having a good time with that. And then there's been a channel update. So that's 18 videos in the whole. Now, why has it gone down from 23 to 18? It's been a good thing, because one of the other things that's gone over the past month is had the opportunity to work with Fort Circle Games on the promotional videos for The Shores of Tripoli online tournament of champions, which has been a really cool experience. I got a chance to work with Kevin Bertram from Fort Circle Games. We're producing review episodes for how the tournament's gone each week, kind of an announcement episode and a teaser episode and things like that. So I produced 5 videos with them over the past month, and 18 plus 5 is 23, which means that in reality, the overall content that I've been able to produce over the past month has been about the same. It's just that 5 of those videos have been targeted for the Fort Circle TV channel rather than for this channel. And that's the way we wanted to do it too. So this is all cool and good and well. That's been really fun to do. And it's been great because it's really kind of stretched me in a different way in terms of creating content that's been really enjoyable to make and do. So nothing but good times there. It does mean, however, that until that's done, it becomes a little bit challenging to keep up the production update on this channel, because the biggest thing is, and this is probably something that all of you out there know with YouTube, with content creation, is that when you're doing it in addition to your regular life, there's not such a huge window of opportunity sometimes with weeks. Like I generally figure I have about maybe 14 to 20 hours to work on the channel in a given week, about 2 hours a day during a good work day. And then maybe you're looking about maybe 5 to 10 hours over a weekend to be able to work on it. And then if work gets busy or if something else happens, that kind of can knock that off. And so by kind of focusing some time on working with the Fort Circle videos, it's mean that I have to kind of say, okay, we're going to have a little bit less output on the YouTube channel over the time that this runs. There's about another 3 weeks left to go with that. So I expect about 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be able to kind of bring the content creation on this channel back up to normal. So the other thing was, over the past week, why have there been no videos over the past week? We produced 2 videos for the Fort Circle Shores of Tripoli online tournament over the past week. They ended up taking quite a bit of time, so that was there. And I got my booster for COVID last weekend, and that wiped out the weekend. So I was knocked off my feet enough that I couldn't make a video. Just didn't feel good for like 24 hours or so. And then work was kind of crazy, and there was some other family stuff going on. So it was kind of this perfect storm of outside influences that got me to Friday with saying, I haven't had 2 hours to really sit down and make a video for the channel until now on Saturday morning. But that was exceptional rather than standard, so I expect the content creation to come right back up. Now let's take a look at our goals. We set 3 goals in March to accomplish by the time of the April update. How did we do? First goal was to have 3 videos produced on non-submarine tabletop wargaming content. We did okay. I'm halfway done with the Hill of Doves gameplay demo. That's taking a bit of time. It's a little bit more intricate than I expected, but that should come out shortly. So about halfway done with that. 1 video published on Resist, which is a kind of a preview and a gameplay demo of that, which is an exciting card game coming to GameFound in May of this month from Salt and Pepper Games. So really excited about that, to get a preview chance, look at that, and to create a video on that. And more videos coming up on that as we get to later April and early May. So goal number 1, no, kind of a fail, but close kind of thing. Goal number 2 was to create 3 PC-related strategy game videos. Yeah, we didn't do very well on that. 0, fail. But I have exciting news. A PC game publisher has reached out about us having take a look at one of their new games coming out at the end of April. So that will be some videos coming up. That's going to be another goal for this month. We're going to do take 2 and we're going to try it again. And this time we're going to succeed. I bet we are. Goal number 3 was to create a Patreon page. Drum roll, please. Did we go 0 for 3? Or did we at least go 1 for 3? Yes, we have a Patreon page. Yay! So if you look up there, I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested in supporting what we're doing on the channel, what I'm doing on the channel. All support's greatly appreciated. And that will tie into the next thing, which is plans for the future, because I think that that's where the Patreon page comes to, they're kind of linked together. And that brings us to plans for the next month and the upcoming future. I'm hoping that the video production levels off. There's still 2 or 3 videos left to create for the Fort Circle, the Shores of Tripoli online tournament of champions. So want to concentrate on that, but that shouldn't impact things too much going forward because we've got all the templates in place. So the production on those is getting faster now. However, this is where the Patreon page comes into the thing. I shot the first tabletop wargaming video on the channel on June 1st of last year. So it's been closing in on the 1-year anniversary for shooting tabletop videos. And one of the things that I've come to realize is that I love it. I really like making these videos. I've really enjoyed digging back into wargaming, and it's been so much fun to create these. The problem is they take a long time. Why, might you ask? Well, right now I have this tiny tripod that I put the iPhone on with the wire coming out of it that's connected to a mic that sits on the table. There's wires all over the place, and I have to move a shot. Like I have to move the tripod, and then it falls over and it wipes out the British fleet in Alexandria Harbor. And then I have to move the microphone, and the wires drag across. And then I forget to move the microphone, so I can't hear the audio. And it's a mess. So what often end up was like 60, 70 videos from the dice roll camera and from the iPhone, and then I bring them into Final Cut Pro and I mesh them all together, and it just takes a long time. It takes me to if it would take me half an hour to play a game normally, it takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours if I'm going to create a video on that half-hour play segment. That's just to shoot it. Then it takes another hour or 2 hours to edit that video. So it's a long process and it's hugely inefficient. And so I've decided that because I like this so much, that it's time to level up what's going on, both in streamlining the production process and then in streamlining the editing process. I think this is going to result in 2 things. One, it'll allow me to produce more videos because I'll be able to produce them with less inefficiency, and it'll allow me to produce better videos because right now the audio on the videos isn't very good. The process just is a little bit clunky, and it's just not working very well. And it's frustrating sometimes. Like I don't want to move the camera. Like if I got a shot up and I'm like, I should shoot this particular part on the board. I'm like, I don't want to move the camera again. It just takes forever. So what I'm doing is 2 things. One is, it's kind of 3 things actually, but 2 immediately. One is to bring in a wireless mic system. And so I'm going to get that's coming today actually. So I'm really excited to putting that one in. Now I've tried 2 other wireless mics this week. And that was a whole nother story, but I had to return them. They just weren't working. So I'm hopeful this system will work. Requires a little trial and error, of course. Second thing is Stuka Joe. If you know his channel, you know he's another content creator that creates tabletop wargaming videos of the utmost quality. He's a wonderful guy, and I've often looked at his studio and the system that he uses and thinking, that's the way to do it, right? And Monday night, he's down in Puerto Rico after he had power out for like a week. But on Monday night, we connected and we chatted for about 2 hours. He was so gracious with his time and explaining how he's gone about building and what he does, the stuff that he's using and how to do it. And his big thing that I really want to copy relatively quickly is the camera slider system that he uses. I highly encourage you to go check out his channel. There's a link down below, but he's got this amazing camera slider system that just allows for such efficient and joyful shooting of wargaming content on the tabletop. And I want to make one of those. I've got a slider coming today and 2 more sliders coming later this week that I think are going to get the basics of that in place. And then over the next 6 weeks or so, going to kind of fill out how that whole system is going to work with the camera slider system. So that combined with the wireless mics has me feeling I'm going to be able to produce more and better videos quickly and with much less inefficiency. So I'm really excited about that. The difficulty with it, which it connects to the Patreon channel, is that they're not cheap, right? So this slider system between, like, you've got this Manfrotto fluid head thing, 3 camera sliders. Camera equipment's expensive. It's like, oh my God, it's like, really, you're seriously that much for this little piece of metal? But anyway, that whole system's probably, I hesitate to say this, right? Because it's like, don't tell my wife, okay? It's like going to be like $500 by the time this whole system's in place. But that gets part of it with the idea that I really enjoy making these videos. It's time to move forward, take the step forward, say, I don't want to say get serious about it, because I don't want to be serious about a hobby like this, but to just like put the chips on the table and say, let's see what it can become, right? Let's really kind of lean into it and enjoy the process and try to level up the quality and efficiency of the production system that's producing these. Because I do feel like it's something that I enjoy well enough at this 1 year mark that I want to keep doing it for a number of years going forward. So I'm really excited about the future, really excited about getting the system in place. But there is some money involved, and that's why the Patreon channel's there too. So if people want to help out, they can kind of help take some of the pain out, because the microphones too, they're like $200. The other thing is I want to upgrade some of the PC things, both for the trucking simulations and for the driving simulations and for other simulation games. And then also for just the general quality of the PC videos. The microphone that I've got right now is kind of okay. I want to upgrade the microphone to kind of a better microphone. I'm using a 12-year-old wheel. Right? It works, but the software just constantly breaks on it. So I constantly have to update it, and it doesn't mesh up with games unless I kind of spend a lot of time tweaking it. And it's 12 years old, right? It doesn't work all that well anymore. So I want to get a new, and those are expensive. The microphones, so it's just like money all of a sudden is like, wow, that's kind of, but I want to do it because I want to make better videos, and I know I'm going to do this for quite a while going into the future. So it's time to kind of level up the whole production system on that. And that's kind of the big threat, is to kind of, so over the course of the next 6 weeks, I'm going to try to put these systems in place. And that might mean by spending a little bit of time working on that some of the video production, I think over the next month, will probably stay about the same as this month. I'm hoping if I could get 20, 25 videos, that would be great, but it might be closer to 15 or 20. And then as we get into late May and June, the production should kind of come back up to normal. We should set 3 goals for the upcoming month. Goal number 1 is to get the new production system in place for the Wargaming tabletop channel. And eventually, too, I want to take that to an OBS system, which is a video recording software. And to do that, I realized that my old 8-year-old laptop doesn't work for that. I'm going to get another laptop at some point, too. So yeah, it's getting kind of crazy, but that's for down the future a little bit too, I think. The other thing, so goal number 1 is to get the slider system and the microphone system in place for the Wargaming channel, for the Wargaming table videos. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2, 3 PC strategy gaming videos, the same as March to April. We're going to do this one for April to May, and I'm going to get it this time. Goal number 3 is to have 2 Wargaming videos, 2 tabletop Wargaming videos produced. One's going to be on Hill of Doves and one's going to be on Resist. If I can get more than that, that's going to be a bonus, but I want to now kind of focus, as I mentioned, dial in and focus on finishing up the By Stealth and Sea series. And so that's going to be kind of the theme over the probably next few weeks with tabletop Wargaming content. And then we'll go to something else after that, but I'm not sure which. Check back in a month to see how we did on these 3 goals. In the meantime, if you want to see something that I would call my greatest fail in PC gaming over the past few years, check out episode 2 from our Snowrunner series. It'll give you a look at the new series, and yeah, it's kind of epic fail, but in a fun way, perhaps? Let me know what you think. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you in another video shortly.